Good morning, Facebook. I'm getting ready to go to work. Have not been to sleep. Last night, I had one lady, trying to keep me up all night long. And she was stupid. That's all I'm going to say. I had one lady I talked to on the phone last night. I enjoyed a great deal. Had another lady on the phone that I was interested in, who was enjoyable. But the fool that showed up in person, shit, that was the dumb one. The two I talked on the phone, I enjoyed. The one I was interested in and my favorite, I enjoyed talking to them on the phone briefly. Okay, let me put it like that. One call was longer than the other one, but I still had two brief phone calls that were enjoyable, even though one may have lasted longer, and most of that call was boring. But there was quite a few moments to where it was enjoyable, although the bulk of it was dead air, boring. We're still filling each other out. So, I think we're both a little shy to jump into, the real hot, heated conversation, the warm conversations. So right now we're taking time, filling each other out slowly with audio surveillance. Alright, I got jokes on the method, but I do understand why it is a decent method to use. You just got to be very careful how you apply it. But I want her to know I enjoyed the conversation, although I still consider it mostly audio surveillance because we didn't talk the whole time we were on the phone. But we had little spurts that came. To me, it feels like, we're not really sure if we want to go all the way there, but we are interested in going somewhat towards there. I think we're both waiting to hear the other say something that'll make us feel more relaxed and open, and I think that's our problem. I'm waiting to hear you say something to tell me I can feel relaxed to really open up and be myself, and then the more I get that feeling, the more I'm starting to think. You're waiting for me to say something that'll really make you feel like really opening up and talking to me. And we gonna have to decide. One of us is gonna have to decide to take that first step. And I guess since a man is supposed to, make that choice if he wants to have a relationship with another person and then take the lead in establishing it, I should, but shit. I kind of like being single. Kind of like having time to myself. Kind of like being able to do whatever I want because I don't have to run it by nobody else. But I do want someone that I can spend time with and enjoy, in a respectful way. And I want to say that because getting to the last bitch of the night to try to keep me up all night on some dumb shit. Okay. You can't have a relationship with somebody you don't know enough about. I want to start right, damn it, there. If you gonna tell me you have a relationship with Jesus, then I'm going to assume and take a big risk making an ass of myself talking about the Jesus I know, the Jesus I have a relationship with. Now, when I start asking you questions about Jesus and his father and, his backstory before he had skin clothes on, and you tell me you don't know nothing about that, then you tell me you lied about having a relationship with Jesus. if you have a relationship with Jesus, anything that come out of my mouth pertaining to Jesus or his Father's kingdom, you're going to have some knowledge about it. Point blank, period. Because before Jesus had skin clothes on, when he was the Father up in heaven, he gave every single fucking human one prime directive. He said he was lonely, so he made us to keep him company. And once he made us, he wanted us to give him more company. Now that I done laid that down, so you understand what kind of jackass I'm dealing with. Okay? The one that popped in the door and had my homegirl on the phone hang up like, damn, they're too quick for my liking, but I respect the fact she allowed me to fully engage what I had coming into my room without no side distractions. And if she had stayed on the phone, she probably would have hopped in the whip with a baseball bat and came and get the bitch out my room. But she hopped off the phone as soon as she heard the chick come in. And you know, real talk, you should have stayed on the line. Like, really, you should have stayed on the line, see what that chick that was coming in my room was about. And you could have, like, told me over the phone straight up, X that bitch. Cut her loose. Don't fuck with her. And I'm not saying this because I want you to myself, but from what I'm hearing, that bitch ain't no count. You don't need to be letting her in. You don't need to be trying to help her out of a bad situation. Because the way she talking to you, she don't want what you're offering. She want what you're not offering. And she's going to try and take it without telling you that's what she wants. And she's going to lie, 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 lie. Does someone lie about them having a relationship with Jesus? Does someone lie about their belief in Jesus? Okay, first thing first, you believe in Jesus, you're going to live the way Jesus suggested. If you practice having a relationship with Jesus, you're going to show your respect and love for him with your obedience. You can't say no phrases like, I don't obey nothing. Okay. You have a relationship with Jesus. He teaches obedience to righteousness. You're not going to obey righteousness. I think you just need to walk out right after you finish saying that. Period. Okay? I'm the type of guy that I didn't try having sex the way the world does. And I see why the world is full of shit and got mad problems. Because the world refused to look at the proper way to go towards sex. A lot of people have sex where it's separate from intimacy. And when you want intimacy like I do, and you try to talk to people about having intimacy, and then you find out they're trying to sell you sex, skip the intimacy, they just want to sell you sex. I'm like, hold up. I believe intimacy is what leads into sex. You know, before you get the butt naked and spit swapping and all of that, there's supposed to be some dry humping, some courting, you know, some getting to know the person you're about to get to know biblically. But the way the world looks at it, fuck knowing the character. You fuck what you see. You don't get to know what you don't see. You just lust after what you fucking see. Whether it's their body, or their money, or their possessions, or their status. You don't have sex with people because of you respecting their character and you got to know their character. You have sex with people because you got the money to afford them, or you think you can lie good enough to get what they got without doing nothing else besides fucking. Now, with that said, I make all that clear to say that, okay, any person that do not have a clue what intimacy is, and when you try to talk to them about intimacy, they think you're just trying to get sex without paying the full price. That's the first sign. Cut them loose. Cut them loose. When you discuss what you believe marriage is in God's eyes, and you want to have a marriage like that, instead of a marriage licensed what men dictate your personal relationship is supposed to be, even though they're not in the fucking bedroom. Okay, point blank. I was happy I had 2 women I enjoyed conversations with, but the last one that tried to talk to me and then think she can yell at me in my motherfucking place because she don't like what the fuck I said and can call me a goddamn fool, well, like I told her, she wore her welcome out. I invited a lady to come under my covering. I invited a lady to enjoy the peace I made in this environment. And the lady is welcome as long as she's going to maintain the peace. But ain't no bitch going to come in here, be yelling at me, calling me out my name. Every time I'm trying to talk and have a conversation, trying to understand where you're coming from, you're not going to holler at me, scream at me, and then never answer none of my questions. And then when I go to talk to you and I say something, I wait for you to speak, you can't ignore me. And then when I go to say something you don't like, you want to talk across me and tell me I didn't allow you to speak. First off, the way she behaves is like a child. A little tomboy. A little teeny bopper girl that don't want to grow up and be a lady, just want to hang out with the boys. Never grow up. Now, I see her good traits, I see her good qualities, I see her potential, but I can't fuck with none of that if all she throwing me is the bullshit I tell her I'm not gonna fuck with, I'm not gonna tolerate, I'm not gonna take. The lady is welcome to come and enjoy my company, but ain't no bitch coming in here gonna yell at me and restrict my freedom of speech and dumb me down. If I'm trying to have a respectable adult conversation about real issues and things that adults can discuss and conversate politely and sensibly, and you just want to act like, okay, no. The men I played that role with didn't appreciate me, so I ain't gonna give no nigga that shit. Hey, you fucked up your marriage. You threw it away. That's between you and the nigga you had that with. I ain't got no parts of all of that baggage. I'm trying to have a stable, healthy friendship with you, not even a relationship. So don't try to punish me for all the foolish mistakes you made when you put good men in the friend zone and set them off with other women, and now you can't fuck with none of them. I'm trying to be another one of those good guys that can give you a decent life, but you can't keep throwing that other bullshit. You can't keep coming at me like a bitch when I'm trying to maintain a lady. It's that simple. And I'm so glad you're on my Facebook, because you need to see this video. You need to see this video. And I'm making this video just so when next time you think about coming to me, you go over this video and remember, you can come in here as a lady, as long as you're going to act like a lady, be respectful and mindful of yourself, and willing to actually show that you can have grown folk conversations without being a child having a tantrum because you think I'm supposed to kiss your ass. Fuck all that shit. Ain't about it. Plus, I want all women, and I mean all women, understand. When you want to have a conversation with me, if I'm on some stuff that you're not really familiar with, all you need to do is excuse yourself from that subject, that conversation, and pick a real fucking topic you can enjoy discussing with me. Don't keep putting me in a situation where I got to pick something to talk about that you can't talk about. Pick something you can talk about that I can enjoy. Trying to talk about government. Trying to talk about what Biden's doing. Bitch, if you ain't voting, I don't give a fuck what Biden doing. Did you vote for him? Did you vote against him? Do you go to city council meetings and vote in your local elections and shit? Then there ain't no fucking point in talking about the president of the country. You got local governments, state governments and shit you got to be active in before you start talking about motherfuckers on a presidential level and national level. I ain't got time to talk politics to any fucking body that's not going to get in a car and drive me to a city council meeting and sit and listen to shit we can vote on that we can actually affect and change. I ain't got time to talk politics to anyone that is not going to a city council meeting, who's not sitting in the town hall meetings and actually voting on policy in your immediate fucking area. You can't change shit on a national level if you do not go through your local channels and state levels. Okay? You can talk all the shit you want about Biden, but if you only got the name of 4 different delegates and 5 senators that you voted into positions to vote that nigga out of office, you just talking outside your neck wasting goddamn time. It's bullshit. Besides, in order to have a good government, we got to start at home. You need strong families to make strong communities to pick strong political leaders. Period. If you got communities filled of broken homes, mothers that didn't want to have masculine covering, and I'm say that for the specific reason, because there are a lot of women out here that get pregnant and choose to keep the man in their life. If not the man they chose to be pregnant by, they'll find a suitable man to play the father figure in their child's life. And I want to give 2 thumbs out to those females who choose to keep a respectable father figure in the life of their children. Whether it be the dad, their dad, or somebody they see as a respectable father figure so that their children can fully understand how to respect good men. Now, with that said clearly, I want to get to them hoes out there, them breeders out there. The ones that plop out kid after kid after kid by nigga after nigga after nigga they don't respect, and then friend zone the niggas that was worthy of marriage and building a family with. Alright, all these hot girl summer bitches. All of these, I don't got to take accountability for how reckless I make decisions or how many homes I destroy. Y'all bitches better not say a motherfucking word to me about no government, no politics, no fucking religion. I just want to put that out there. For a so-called single mother that also have to be the father, you fucking mental bitches don't talk to me. You mental assholes do not approach me. If you had a child and you refuse to give them a respectable father figure, do not speak to me. Okay? I ain't got time for you stupid shit. If you cannot gift your child with a respectable man as a father figure, then you're telling me you're not going to have any form of respect for me. Period. All right? I had one woman ask me what she should do if she was pregnant. At that time, I felt it was appropriate to tell her it's her body, her decision. You had a kid before. I get paid to get high for a living. If you keep it, I want mine. But you first have to decide if you want to go through that 9 months before you give me a kid to run off with. I respect the decision she made because of the situation she had to deal with in her life and decided she's going to bring my nut into. I respect her decision. Now, the other one that claimed she was pregnant by me, she fucked up by telling me 2 different stories. She didn't even weave the 2 stories into one. She just told me one story and then told me another story and never really gave me sufficient details to say that was just 2 halves of one story. And then the way she's carried herself, being a breeder, and then want to talk to me after you done let mine breathe, but you got these other 3. Okay. So y'all know why I have such a serious beef with them breeders that don't respect who they mate with or don't respect their children enough to give them a proper father figure. Now, there are some women out there who would love to give their children a proper father figure. And ladies, I'm here. I love the kids just like your daddy. It's just I ain't babysitting nobody else's babies unless I'm claiming them on my taxes. I'm gonna be real about it. I done tried raising other people's kids, and it seemed like it was more of a burden to me and a setback. Because where are my kids now? Raising all these other people's kids when I get a chance to have my own. Where do I get to have my own? Now, I still am willing to help women who want a father figure in their child's life. I'll play a mentor part-time. I can't play no full-time daddy. But I can set appointments up with you, come through, and help you give your children a respectable father figure, or at least a good example of what a man should be. I'm willing to play that role. I'm not going to play daddy, but I'll be a mentor. I'll be uncle. Until you find someone that really help your kids understand how real men really act and really carry themselves in the world and really interact with women. Hey, there's mad motherfuckers out here that will be willing to assist you. All you gotta do is talk to them, let them know. Now, don't go for them liars. Don't go for them fuckboys. Don't go for them scammers. Okay, real men aren't that hard to find. I am part of 54% of them good niggas y'all looking for. Just stop overlooking us. That's all I'm saying. Okay? But before I go to work, I just want to get a few things off my head before I go to work, because I enjoy talking to my baby. I'm glad she still talks to me. She's sounding better. She's getting better. I also enjoyed hearing the voice of a lovely lady. And says she wants my last name, but she's going to talk more on the phone about how we're going to get into this name change. Like what steps, procedures, or like we really got to spend some FaceTime in person and really have some full conversations. Right now, I understand your situation. You're kind of in the middle of a transition from one way to another way. And hey, I can be patient to when you have time to really sit in person and really, negotiate how we're going to do this, like merger, name change, how we're going to establish our partnership. I understand you got a lot on your plate right now. You're moving around. So once you got enough space on your plate for me to sit on it, then we'll really get into it. But hey, I like the sound of your voice. I would like to hear it more often, but I have to say, but I still have some things I have to take care of before I can fully engage into being a glutton in the sound of your voice. Like the driver's license. I gotta hurry and get that. Because when I get the driver's license, then I get the car, and then you ain't gotta burn your gas, you ain't gotta get behind the wheel. You can just tell me where to meet you at, and I can whip it on over there, and then we can really talk about, establishing a future together. Until said time, call a nigga more often. Talk a little bit more. I mean, I ain't trying to rush nothing. I ain't trying to put no pressure on you. But I'm just one of them type of niggas, like, for you to really convince me to give you my last name, you really got to captivate my attention. Really lock in my mind. Have some scheduled activities on the regular. Like, I can't tell you women no other way how to get where you want to be with me. Like y'all, I require a lot of attention. Like y'all, I require a lot of thought. Like y'all, I require a lot of respect. There's no other way to get in my last name. I mean, the fastest way you can get my last name, get pregnant by me. Have no prior kids and get pregnant by me, I'll throw you my name in a heartbeat. But when you already have kids, okay, it's a long process. When you got grandkids, it's an even longer process. I got to thoroughly vet your character and, where you are at in your mentality, stage of life. And if you actually have time in your life for me, if you're really interested and being porch mates, you know, being by niggas side to you in the tombstone. I ain't got no more time for fly by night, fun, hot girl bullshit. Okay, I done played around enough with the fornication, adultery, and harlotry to say I'm ready to get my sainthood. I'm repenting from all that bullshit sin because it's boring. There's nothing. I don't see why a lot of motherfuckers want to sit in like it's fun when you're always thirsty. There's no satisfaction. All that shit leave you lingering for more. That means it wasn't good enough to satisfy you for you to be happy. It's a waste of your time. I'm tired of chasing a ghost, trying to keep a woman that don't want to be kept. So right now I'm at this stage of life to where, okay, if you want sexual relations, there's a lot of verbal intercourse before you get to the sexual intercourse. Period. I don't want sex without intimacy, so I need the foreplay, the dry hump, the courting, and all of that before I start throwing my dick out again. I'm just tired of using my dick as a fishing pole, hoping I catch something I can keep for life, and always keep losing my hook and bait. I'm not doing it no more. I want my life to mean something. I'm not trying to fuck around with people that don't want any real meaning or substance or sentiments and things. I'm not trying to be a boy toy the rest of my life for women who have commitment issues. You know, like, what's the point of getting married and, you know, as soon as you get bored, I'm getting divorced? A lifetime commitment means a lifetime, not a couple years till you get bored. So before I could go into that signing shit in front of just the piece, it's a long interviewing process. Fastest way to put a ring on this hand, come with no kids and ready to birth one. That's simple. You ain't got no kids, and you want a man that's gonna be loyal to the death, and you willing to have at least two for him, holler at me. Real talk. But keep in mind before you approach me, be familiar with the history of our learning years, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Because that textbook, that book of mass manipulation, that book of allegories, that book of ethics, that book that tells you what happened when you do shit the wrong way, that book that tells you what happens when you do shit the right way, is how I govern my life. It's how I walk day to day. Now, I ain't the best Christian. I ain't fully quit all my sins. But the book told me I must even sin in moderation. So I keep my sins to a moderate level to where it's easier to let them go when I'm ready. I'm not trying to be in that shit so hot and heavy that I gotta fight like hell to break out of the habit. Because to me, that's what sin, even in moderation, means. Because, like y'all heard it, do all things in moderation. And read the part where it says even sin in moderation. Okay, sin in moderation means you're not so deep in that shit that when you're ready to cut it go, that you got to battle to let it go. That's what I see it as. Like, I do this in moderation. So when I'm saying I'm about done smoking, it's like that. It's over. Because I'm not so engrossed into it, I can't just toss it. That's what I mean by sin in moderation. Like, I do this very lightly. I practice heavy moderation on this. So when it's time to quit getting drunk, it's easy to quit. Ain't a whole lot to that. And as I look at the clock, it's time for me to get the fuck off of this phone and go to work. And I'll get back to y'all as soon as I smack another 70 on the room. Thank all of those who popped in for a quick, view. And I hope y'all take the time to review this later in full. I wonder why in the hell, man. I get the little eyeball up there with a number, and then, like, as quick as it pop up, it disappear. It's like, maybe I'm boring my audience away. But hey, like I said, I mainly do this for me. But I'm starting to notice there's people watching that's actually getting some good shit from me. And I ain't concerned about trying to affect people in person no more. Thanks to the people that be seeing my videos in their entirety, being able to help themselves with what I'm using to help myself. Okay. Now I gotta keep that in mind until I get up here. I'm not just talking to me. I'm talking to those that need the same help I need when I look at these videos. So thank y'all. And if you really appreciate what I'm doing, you see the profile pic is a QR code for Cash App. Send a nigga some money. That's all I'm gonna say. If you really like what I'm doing, send a nigga a Cash App. When I see my Facebook friends pop up and giving me Cash Apps, or, you know, I just see some random Cash Apps pop up when I ain't got to sign out, oh, I'm gonna appreciate it. When you send the Cash App, if you want me to tell everybody you was generous to me, put that in the little comment. Let them know I did this. All right, I help you get your charitable donation. But you gotta remember, you gotta do it properly to write it off on your taxes. If you just pull money out of your pocket, smacking somebody's hand, it's gonna be hard to write that off as a charitable donation. But when you send it through the Cash App and you got it noted that that's a charitable donation, that's actual evidence to take to IRS to get that money back on your return. And it's tax season, y'all. I need to point that out to y'all. Yes, I love when people hand me money, but I'm gonna need to start carrying a receipt book to hand to these people who give me money, so that way it's easier for them to file the charitable donations they give to me on their taxes to get that money back. So when they see me in traffic, they can throw it again, and we can keep that money in rotation. Yeah. Later, y'all.